here we are at round 2. So round 2, we're obviously introducing a new colour. In this case it's pepper, and of course throughout the pattern you're going to be told which colours we're using for which rounds. So we're going to be joining in a new colour, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the construction introduces a new abbreviation, which is CL, which I believe stands for cluster. And all that is it's 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble in the corner. So if I move my fingers there, you can see there's our corner space. 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble. So that's how our corner is going to be worked all the way around here. And then in between those clusters, we're just working individual treble stitches into the top of each of the treble stitches that are already there. So that's how we're going to start building out our square each time. So that's what round 2 looks like. Let's give it a go. Right, so here is our finished round 1, and we have to join our new yarn into any of the corner spaces. This is, or chain spaces, this is how I'm going to do this throughout. You choose whatever joining method you're happy with, but here's one for you if you want a tip. I'm starting with a slip stitch on my hook in the new colour, and I'm just going to pop my hook through one of the corner spaces, the chain spaces, bring the yarn through, and then bring it straight through that slip stitch. Just give it a little pull to tighten it up, and there it is, nice and secure on the corner, ready to go. I'm going to use that technique every time I'm joining in a new colour in this project. It's just lovely and secure, and you can hide that knot out of the way, or even undo it when you're all secure and sew it in. It's not a problem. Right, so to start with, as before, we're making a false treble by using 3 chain. That's going to count as our first treble there, and don't forget we're using UK terminology. So I'm going to go ahead and make a second, or a first, if you like, first real treble into the corner. Just undoing it there, because I got it all horribly wrong. And there is our first kind of little grouping of 2. So then we do 2 chain and 2 more treble into the same chain space. So all we're doing is just easing ourselves round the corner. So we just need to increase the stitches in the corner to be able to neatly get round the corner and make it still square. So there you go. You can see we've got 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble. Now we're going to work a treble into the top of each of them that are already there. So it's 4 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am sure that you are more than able to do this. If you're finding the yarn a little bit splitty, don't worry. Just kind of ease that hook through sort of each, I don't know, each strand. You soon get into the stride with it. Always find this with new yarn, just finding my way with it a little bit to start with. 2, 3 and 4. So that's our first side completed. Now I have no idea how much of that you saw, because I just realised it was off the camera, so I will go back and double check that you can see it. So you can see that our side is growing outward. Now we're going to do that cluster again into this chain space, or into the corner, whatever you want to call it. So 2 treble, oh, yarn bowl yield, let's try that again. There's my 2 treble, 2 chain, and 2 more treble into the same space. Okay, we'll stop and have a look at that, not least because my yarn is stuck. Must do something about this yarn pole. They always fight me, don't they, in all the videos. Right, so you can see we have gone round the corner at each end, and we have made our side by putting trebles into the top of each of the trebles from the previous round. So like I said, not too arduous. I think we can do this. I'm going to go round and complete this, and we're just going to have another look at fastening off. Right, so I've got 2 more trebles to finish this round. 1 and 2. Oops. And as before, I'm going to fasten off in the same way, which is putting a slip stitch through the top of the, goodness, enormous lorry outside, hopefully, a slip stitch through the top of the starting 3 chain. If I just take my hook out for now. Okay, you can see we have finished round 2, and you can see the construction as we said previously, which is the clusters in the corner and the 4 straight trebles along the middle. Now, as you work through the rounds, all that's going to change, your corners are going to be exactly the same, which is a cluster in the corner. All that's going to change is the number of trebles that you do along each side. So we did 4, didn't we? 1, 2, 3 and 4. As we do round 3, for example, the next round, we're going to make our cluster in the corner and we're going to do 8 trebles. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then another cluster in this corner. That's all that's going to change through the next 9 rounds, just the number of trebles you do in the middle. So I think you can do that without my help, and we'll meet again at the end of round 11. So sorry to interrupt. I wonder if you would like to go and have a quick read of the errata email we sent, or look at the errata video, just to make sure that the stitch count is correct at the end of each of the next few rounds you're going to make. So just one quick other reminder of how I've been interpreting that tip to fasten off. Let's just cut the end of the yarn. Pull that cut yarn all the way through that stitch, and then I've put my hook from front to back, sorry, from back to front, I beg your pardon, from back to front, grabbed it and pulled, oh dear, grabbed it and split it. Let's try that again. Keeping it real, folks, keeping it real. Grabbing the yarn and pulling it through. Okay, all the way through to the back, which gives us that lovely smooth finish. Then I will just thread my needle, which I just cannot do on camera. I can never do it, so I'm going to do it off camera. Thread my needle and weave those ends in. So as I said, I'll see you at the end of round 11 for what comes next.